besties, I have some book recs for you today. As usual, these are my opinions, and it's just a little debrief as to why I said yes to these books and why they are in my shop. All of these titles are currently available, and let's get right into it. Let's first admire the beauty that is this book because, wowza. She has lived a very sheltered life, and he literally just came back from slaying a dragon. This is an arranged marriage, and she has trouble trusting literally anyone and everyone. So, of course, he loves her and spoils the shit out of her. There are also quests, monsters, and medieval vibes. It is an absolute yes for me. This book has it all. Not only is it absolutely gorgeous, let's pause here to admire. I mean, what? Yes, but it is dark academia, paranormal fantasy, horror, and it is also a super empowering story about women, and it has Me Too representation. Yes, paranormal fantasy romance, the plot, the banter, the tension, the extremely hot MMC. Yes, yes. I love Ali Hazelwood, and I love that in every single one of her books, there's a Twilight something. Somebody in her books always loves Twilight because she loves Twilight. So the fact that this is an arranged marriage between her, who is a vampire, and him, who is a very hot werewolf, I mean, Team Jacob or what? Arranged marriage, fated mates. He is an alpha, quite literally. They're really hot together. Oh, and there is a knot. Yeah, you heard that correctly. There is a knot. And if you don't know what a knot is, don't Google it. It is an absolute yes for me. Immaculate gothic vibes. The spice is spicing. The two main characters have perfect chemistry, and their banter is just perfection. It is very much Caraval and Hunger Games kind of ish, but make it creepier. And the ending. Yes. This one has to be one of my favorite LJ Shen books, if not my favorite. It is a very conflicted story of love and loss. It is filled with grief, pain, angst, but also a lot of forgiveness, healing, and growth. It is heartbreaking, but it's also beautiful. Yes. One of my favorite reads ever, so much so that I went and bought it in Spanish so my mom could read it. It is historical fiction with a tiny bit of magical realism. Set in the 1980s with flashbacks to 1940. And when we're in 1940, we are in Paris in the middle of the war. I don't want to ruin it for you. All I can tell you is that the female characters, yes, with an S, are very much relatable, and you're going to enjoy the story from beginning to end. So you should definitely read it. It's a yes for me. Cozy, queer, fantasy romance, and let's pause to admire this beautiful book. I mean, it is so fucking cute. I love it. There's the story of Viv, who is an orc. Yes, an orc. And she is also a bounty hunter. But she is done living that life. So she goes and opens a coffee shop in a city where she's a stranger and people don't know her and people don't even know what coffee is. This is a cozy fantasy, which a lot of people say, oh, that's boring. No, it is not. The story is like full of love, warmth. It's a story about starting over, finding yourself, finding where you belong, and opening your heart to endless possibilities. I love this story. It's like a warm hug. It's a yes for me. Book two in the series, but this is a prequel. Let's pause to look at the beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, they just look so good together. I'm obsessed. So, book two, but this is a prequel. It actually happens 20 years prior to Legends and Lattes. It's so beautiful. I cannot ruin it for you. You must read it. Yes. Another beautiful one. And again, we must pause to see this one. I love it when you take the sleeve of a book and it's like even more beautiful without it. Look how gorgeous this is. She is the Pirate King's daughter, clearly. And let's say she's kidnapped, there's more to it, but let's say she's kidnapped by a group of pirates and she's taken on their ship. Little do they know that she's a fucking badass and like basically she made herself get kidnapped, if that makes sense, to teach him a lesson. It's all planned out. The banter between the main characters, obviously one of the kidnappers is the MMC. And the banter between the main characters is fantastic, and he's a sexy pirate. I mean, what else do I have to tell you to convince you to read this book? It is a yes for me. That book is part of a series, so the here are book 2 and 3 in the series. This is book 2. And this is book 3. There isn't much that I can tell you about these books without ruining book 1 because the main characters in book 1 are on these 2 books. This is possibly one of the best pirate series I've read. And there's nothing that I enjoy more than a very sexy MMC, but a super strong FMC. And this has it all. So, yes. Those are all the recs that I have for you guys today. I will be live tonight. We are going to be wrapping all orders and we're doing ugly sweaters. So I'm really excited to do that with you guys tonight. I hope that you guys find some amazing reads. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. I'm always only a message away. I will see you guys later. Bye.